this cabin build here at Falls Hillside Home. My name's Jason. Hey, before we get started too much in this video, let me go ahead and remind you, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Like the video, smash that like button, ring the notification bell, that way you get to see all the videos posted in the future. You'll be reminded of that, and leave a nice little comment below. It really helps me out and I appreciate it. Alright, Jason and Dustin Falls from Falls Hillside Home here. Made some progress on the cabin. This is part 2, the cabin build. Probably day like what, 5 or 6.
Something like that.
It's not going as fast as we wanted it to, but we got all the piers made. Look at that. And it's square and level. Now if you're standing here looking at it, if you were here, I don't know how it's going to look on video, but there's an optical illusion because we didn't grade the ground, but it looks like that corner is much higher. But when you take the level, it is level all the way across. It couldn't have turned out much better in my opinion. So we're about to lay out the floor joist and nail these in. I got 2 already out here. And so what we do here, we marked 16-inch on centers. So this is where the edge of the joist to go, and this marks the side of where the 2x6 is actually going to sit. So you see here what we did. All right, we marked where the edge is right here, and this is the side of that line that that 2x6 is going to sit on. So what me and Dustin are going to do, we've already set our nails in. All we got to do is bring out these 2x6s, and we're going to drive 1 nail on each side and then keep moving. And then I can let Dustin go because he's got a project he's working on at his house, redoing his kitchen and floor in there and everything like that, new cabinets, all that stuff. So he's got a lot that he needs to do. So we're just going to put 1 nail on each side of the joist, and then I'll come back and put in the other nails and finish up. And I should be able to finish the floor by myself from here. All right, well, we're going to get started and we'll set this thing up.
I'm gonna have to hammer right-handed.
No, you get on their side of the first one. Alright, so this might be just a little bit of overkill, but I wanted to make sure that these piers were sturdy. So what I decided to do was grab some, I call them lag bolts. I don't know if these are actually lag bolts, but pretty big, heavy-duty bolts that I wanted to reinforce the piers. I was only able to nail to one side. Okay, so these about mid-span of each section here, because we built, if you remember, you saw the other videos, we built 2 10x12s. I'm sorry, yeah, 12x12s sections, put them together for 12x24. All right, so you see here, I got 2 sides to nail that pier to. This one only had 1. Now, I wasn't really comfortable with that, and again, this might be overkill, but you can see I'm putting one of those lag bolts in there. And the way we got this started is you first want to take a 1-inch speed bore bit. And the reason you want to do this first is it always starts your pilot hole at that little point for your 1/2-inch bit. We're going 1/2-inch because this bolt's roughly 1/2 inch wide. So just to get it started easier through there, drilled a good hole so that way whenever we start turning the wrench on this, we don't have to go quite so far, and it's still going to get a really good bite. And actually these are just a bit longer. That's what the store had, and it's what I picked up, but they will definitely work. You're not going to be able to see these bolts anyway. And then once I get the shed almost done, I'm going to put a little board to go over this here so you won't see that. It'll look really nice. Some like some trim work to go on that. Dave Ripple did the same thing in his cabinet him and Brooke built on Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods. So you get it started with the 2 speed bores and get the camera set up just so you can see me take forever. I'll get this now. If you had a drill with a socket and everything, maybe an impact wrench, that'd probably work. I don't have this bit size for my impact drill, and I also don't know where my air hose is for my compressor because I haven't unpacked it yet. And this is a ratchet, but whenever it's this easy, I just find it easier just to keep going round in a circle. And then as the tension builds up, I can actually use it as it's intended to be. So there you go, just a little extra support. I can take an open end wrench perhaps and get that down just a little bit, suck it in just a little bit more. And we're going to do that on all 4 of these mid-span piers. And I'll show you what we also did to kind of connect these together a little bit more too. You kind of see these piers are split a little bit, so I put a ratchet strap, tried to get them as close as I could. And I put one down at the bottom on each side. You see I started drilling holes up here. I was going to put them up here, but I thought no, I'm going to put them down here to kind of keep them together down here. I still might go and put those in later on, but starting off, definitely wanted to get them in. And I'm not worried about these being sunken in. That's why I only went with a 1/2 inch. Be perfectly fine if that grabs, I don't care. But these down here, I kind of want to hide a little bit. So we're going to try to countersink them a little bit, if that's the right term. All right, so we're going to bring these 2 piers together right here. And I'll show you exactly how I'm going to do that as I explained before. So you got the ratchet strap set on here. And you see there's a little gap down here at the bottom. I'll turn this down just a little bit so you can see a little bit better. So as I'm cranking that ratchet strap, you see it brings them together real nice. If I was to take a hammer, get this in, that might line it up just a little bit more. We're going to be careful not to undo any of the work that we've already done. But let me grab that sledgehammer real quick. All right, we're not going to do anything real crazy, just a couple light taps. And that pretty much lines them up. That looks really nice, just like that. So just one more crank down here. All right, we're good to go. So now we're going to start the rest of this process with the 1 inch speed bore bit. And then once we get that started, we're only going to take it down to about right there. Because what we want to do is we want to sink the head of that bolt into the wood if we can. After we go just about that depth there, we're going to take our 1/2 inch bit and then we're going to run it all the way through. And here's why it's going to make it easier on us, right? We run it all the way through, we still got a long ways to go to get bite. So we're going to have to crank down that ratchet. The ratchet quite a few times. So having a hard time talking all of a sudden. All right. So just get that depth that we're looking for. That's why they call it a speed bore. It is speedy. So make sure that you're good. Take your bolt here. Stick that head in, make sure that it's countersunk a little bit. All right, now we'll countersink all the way. We're going to do the same thing on the other side before we change bits. This makes a little bit better sense. we're going to take that bolt again. All right, sinks completely in. Good to go on that. I'll put that bolt right there. Grab the 1/2 inch bit. I'm going to grab old Chuck. What to do here. So, for those of you who don't know, this is Chuck. It's a Chuck key. There's only 3 places that Mr. Chuck goes. First one is right there in that Chuck hole. So it does what Chuck's supposed to do. And it loosens up that bit. And tighten it by hand just a little bit, and then tighten it the rest of the way with old Chuck here. 2 other places Chuck can go is right here in this little holder, and these things do wear out. So this is my brother's drill. I don't want to wear this out too much. You just kind of have to let me borrow it. Or Mr. Chuck can go in your pocket. If you put Mr. Chuck down, you'll forget about him, lose him. Yeah, go to the store just to get another Chuck. All right, so now I can line that 1/2 inch drill bit up in that little pilot hole that the 1 inch bit already drilled for me. I'm going to take it all the way in. Now, what I found out is easier to do is just push this speed bore bit in just about 1 inch, and then back it out, let it get all the sawdust out of that hole, and push it in again, back it out, and do that, and you'll be through that hole in no time. All right, back to the other side. All right, we're done with our drill. Now we can probably just, so it turns pretty easy in there, right? Be careful not to cut your fingers on these threads. So like I said, I like to just take it around like that, just quick until the tension gets a little bit tighter. And then we can use it like a ratchet. It's pretty simple, as simple as that. So I'm going to finish tighten these down. I'll save you from having to watch me go through this whole thing again. I'm going to put one on each side, and then I'll be done with the lag screws. I only have one left after that. So if I want to tighten up any more, I have to go to the store and buy some more. But I think this will suffice. I think this will be good enough. This might already be overkill for some of you carpenters out there. Maybe wonder why I'm doing this. It's just what makes sense to me. And I'm really comfortable with putting that in there. But the floor is looking pretty solid. And I'm about to wrap this up. What I'm going to do tonight, I have to go back to the store, grab a couple more 2x8s. We fell too short. That's why I'm not a math teacher. All right, that was my fault. And then I got enough 6x6 over there, as you see. I'm gonna make one more pier and put it right in the center where we join these two 12x12 sections together. Is it needed? I don't know, but I have it. I've got another capstone, so I'm gonna throw one in there and just provide a little bit more support. And then after that, I'll clean up the work site, because for me, it really makes a difference to have a clean work site. So wrap that up. I've got a job interview tomorrow, so I probably won't make it out here to do any work. Be very little if I do, because my job interview is at 1:30. I'll see how that goes in Chattanooga. But I'll be back out here Wednesday, see if we can finish up this floor. Right, to be completely honest, this was very awkward. First time I hung one of these just a few seconds ago. I already did too, just kind of get used to it. So I'm showing the video. It was a little awkward, but you know, always try to figure out the efficient way to do anything. And I think for me, for right now, I've got it figured out. So you kind of see, if I push it this way, this side over here kind of sticks out a little bit. If I push it this way, this side sticks out. So it's not an issue. way we're going to get around that. Let's put this first one in over here. So I got it completely resting up against the sides of the rim joist and the floor joist, just like they're supposed to be. And I'm going to put one nail right in there. Making sure that it's supported the entire time. And I'll go ahead and put this one down here. And now to bring this one over, you see we have, well, you probably see it better on this side. We got the 2 holes here and here. We also have 2 holes here and here, coming up against the actual floor joist. So 2 holes on the rim joist, where they get 2 nails, and then 2 nails on the floor joist. So this time I'm going in the holes with the floor joist, and now we're completely solid up against that floor joist and the rim joist. Put the remaining nails in. Well, sometimes angles are a little awkward, that's okay. I'll figure it out. Once you get it started, you're home free. Getting it started is really the challenge. Sometimes I can be the worst at bending nails. So this one's not too bad here. Hey, good morning, y'all. Had some rain yesterday, so I wasn't able to get anything done on the cabin build. I got a few things done in the garage, and I wanted to show you. So one of the strangest things about this garage, and I'll take care of this light here in a minute, but anytime I wanted to come in and turn on the lights, I had to hit the breaker. And so as you know, I'm staying up here. You know, there's the bed, and I got that little closet organizer yesterday, get my stuff unpacked out of the boxes and get organized. But I don't want to sleep with the lights on, right? So I'd always have to come over here, turn the breaker on, and then stumble through all this stuff if I want to turn on in the middle of the night. And I couldn't charge up my computer or my phone at night while the lights are off because I had to turn the breaker off. So what I did was I went to Walmart. You might not like that I shop at Walmart, but sometimes it is what it is. And you know, it's cheaper. But I got these LED lights, and they work so much better than the fluorescents. And as you can see, you just hang them from your ceiling up there, little hooks. And it's got the plug-in. So if you got outlets on your ceilings, a lot of garages, a lot of shops do. It's just a simple plug-in, so there's no hard wiring. And all you gotta do is just turn that on, and I'll tell you what, it is bright. I got 4 of them, installed them. I left up a couple of the fluorescent lights last night, but those will come down as I'm able to. Walmart only had 4 of these 4-foot LED lights. I bought all 4 of them. Mostly replaced the lights that wouldn't come on anymore, or was just in a bad place or whatever. And if I want to, I can just plug those back in over there. So that was the thing, like if I wanted to have the, if I want to be able to plug in my phone or computer at night, I had to, you know, unplug the lights. And you get up in the middle of the night, gotta go to the bathroom, I can't reach up there and plug that in. Fall and trip and hurt myself. So anyway, I was pretty excited about that. I'm excited about this. Cool, right? Yeah, my bed, I'm gonna sleep. Part of the mess, I'm still trying to clean it up. And this is used, it was actually sitting in the garage when I got here. I was like, you know, I cleaned up. So I gotta clean the mirror up. I just put the mirror up yesterday. Got some cabinets from a buddy of mine. I don't know if I'm gonna keep those out here in the garage somewhere or put them in the cabin. They got that old rustic look, I like that. These are staying out here. And then my brother gave me some cabinets that will stay out in the garage. He redid his kitchen, as I was telling you from another video. And I got to get those moved over maybe sometime this weekend. We got some more rain coming in a couple of days, so I'll probably wait and do that then. But there's the furring strips. I got the furring strips yesterday. A couple more pieces of plywood, just because I fell short on all the other materials that I bought. I was like, why not? Let's buy a couple more pieces of plywood for the flooring, just in case. So that's what I'll work on today. I gotta prime them just like I primed these. I'm gonna have to cut some to size for the other end, get them nailed on. My friend Shane's coming over tomorrow. He's gonna help me finish whatever's left on that. I'm expecting to be able to get the plywood floor put on tomorrow, be completely done, and then I'll have to cover it up with a tarp until I get the 2x4s and everything for the wall framing and the roof and everything like that. But it's pretty exciting. This is the next step. All right, let's see what we can get done today. Got a bundle of 6 furring strips here. It's going to really cut down on the amount of cuts I have to make throughout the day. And I got to cut these boards twice, so it's going to really save me some time. All right, to prime these furring strips, I'm using a product called Hills. This is the same product I used over 20 years ago when I worked with my dad for a painting company. Works really well. You just gotta be really ventilated because it will make you high, possibly kill you. But it works pretty good. Gonna be using just a small roller and something I can carry around, as I got multiple spots I got these furring strips laid out in. I can roll it, makes fast work of it. Another tool, highly recommend if you're going to be doing any type of painting, that's a 5-in-1. And call it a 5-in-1 because there's 5 different tools. I've used it, obviously to scrape. Use it to open up this paint can here. That's probably what you'll use it for the most. If you want to clean out a roller, so you just scrape it down through there and you get a lot of the paint out. That's if you're doing that. Most of the time we just throw the roller away. But I've done that before, especially with like the latex, not with the oil paint so much, but latex, when you can wash it out with water, really good. If you're using oil, even if you're using latex paint, always a good idea to wear gloves, easier cleanup. But if you happen to get this on your hands, and this is really good if you sometimes you get paint in your hair. If you're painting overhead, you get it around your eyes and things like that. Of course, if it's latex, it's going to come off with water. But if you're using an oil-based paint or primer, you can take mayonnaise or maybe something else that's oil-based. Baby oil would probably work. But I like mayonnaise. I'll take mayonnaise and rub my hands with it, get a washcloth, some type of wash rag and scrub with, and it works really good around your eyes. You don't want to use paint thinner for that. Paint thinner is bad for your skin. It'll dry you out, and this causes all types of problems. So you definitely wouldn't want to use that in your hair, around your eyes or anything like that. And I wouldn't even use it on my hands. I used to use it on my hands until I found out how good mayonnaise works. So that's what I would recommend. Always have some mayonnaise if you're not going to be wearing gloves. And if you are, it's good to have that mayonnaise around in case you get some on your face. You don't need to fill this too full. I'll just get right there. I kind of like to tip that can back. Then I'll take my roller, kind of roll that excess out. Get it out of that little lip area as well. Don't make too much of a mess. But pretty simple. Yeah, I'm working here on my foundation. Because on the inside of it, you're not going to see if I spill any paint or primer on it. You're not going to see that. I don't want to spill it on the rim joist or anything that's outside. I'm not quite sure what type of stain or paint I want to use yet. But not a big deal to get it on the inside floor joist. There's a little bit of working to get that primer nice and in there. This is raw wood. It's going to soak up the primer really good. it'll load it up, and I can roll 2 of these at the same time. You don't want to put too much on there because you don't want it to run. And probably going to have to come back and do 2 coats like I did the last time. Not a big deal. Now, alright, so here I'm just getting the nails started in the furring strips. I'm going to lay these furring strips inside the floor joist, and that'll hold a 1/4 inch plywood, which is going to hold up the insulation for my floor. And then on top of that, we'll put down the main flooring plywood. But I'm using the floor joist here just as a guide because I figured, you know, I want to nail about every 16 inches. And since our floor joists are on 16-inch centers, I can just lay the furring strips on here and then get a nail started just over each floor joist. And then once I'm done, then I can stretch them out and lay them inside the floor joist and nail them up. Alright, I think you see what I'm going for here. Just similar like Dave Whipple did on his build with bush radical. So the insulation is going to lay down on top of this. Of course, I'm going to nail this down, and first I'm going to paint one side of it turn the painted side down. I'm going to use Kills, the same stuff I used on the frame strips. So Kills primer, that'll keep it from rotting. And you see here, I'm going to have to cut some notches out here in the corners, but no big deal. You do that on the jigsaw. And you'll see down here, this is halfway. This is right in the middle, I guess I should say, of the cabin. And so I messed up again and did not get enough fern strips. I need 34 more. I way miscounted this one, but that's okay. So since I know I gotta get some more supplies, I'm gonna go ahead and cut all this 1/4-inch plywood, lay it out. I'm sure I'm probably going to need to buy some more of it too. So I'll lay all that out and get it all at once. Is what I plan to do. And hopefully I got enough insulation, because I don't want to stop and, when I start putting it down, to go buy some more. But we'll see. And I might lay out the big plywood too, to see if I got enough to cover the floor, or see if I need to get some more. All right. Don't know if I showed you this yet, but there we put that middle pier in. I did that earlier. So I got just a bit more support. Had the extra 6x6, and I still got a lot of 6x6 left over. And I'll put that big log away for another day. So we can come up with it later. I'm sure I'll find a use for it. All right. Well, Paris was around here. I think she probably went down to play with the neighbor's dog. But what's a hillside dog supposed to do? Yeah, I see her down there. You won't be able to see her on the GoPro through the woods, but she's down there. All right, let's keep moving. All right, laid out some notches. You see here the lines where this luan is going to fit right in there with the piers, and then that'll hold the insulation up. All right, take this piece and do a fit test and see how good our cuts came out. So our notch is good, but somehow for this, we're running just a little bit wide on our luan. We'll have to trim a little bit of that off, and we can do that on the circular saw. All right, didn't actually need to cut it down with the circular saw. Just need to push out the joist a little bit and fit right in there, nice and tight. We're going to take this out and prime it and see the notch. Oh, I wanted to show you just in case you couldn't see earlier. So I had that plywood. I put 3 sheets of plywood together, a 1/4 inch, pushed it up against these 2 nails, so kind of even it out. And I did the same thing down here for the end. So push it together and help me line it up so I could cut 3 sheets at once. And that worked out pretty good. I think I'll keep doing that. All right, good morning, day 3 of this video. The goal for today is to get the luan plywood down, and get it primed, nailed in, and then lay the insulation on top of it. And then we got to prime one side of the plywood, lay that face down for the floor. And then we'll cover all that up with the tarp. So, not going to talk very much. I'm going to go ahead and get started and make sure that this thing's charged up. And I'm waiting for the sun to come up because it is chilly. So that's how we're gonna lay it down. We're gonna prime the bottom side of it just in case it gets wet underneath. We'll provide a little bit of protection. Then here after a while, well, then we put staples down. I ran out of staples as I was running those over there, so I have to refill that. That's okay, I got thousands of them. Then we're gonna lay down the insulation. I'll show you that later. All right, so got a couple of helpers come up here today. Best friends ever, Shane. We've known, how long have we known each other? At least since middle school. I think we met before that over at Daniel and Leah's or at the old house.
Yeah, that's too long to
We're gonna be aging ourselves. Me and my cousin Shane. So this is Shane and Shane, just like the country duo. But anyway, these guys really helped me knock this out with a quickness. You can see we got all the luan down. We got them overlapped in places. My cousin Shane just stapled all the luan down to the furring strips. And I think we're ready to lay out the insulation, right? So I'll lay out the insulation. What my cousin Shane was telling me was probably better to lay down some plastic over the top of the insulation to help keep from moisture coming up. So what we're going to do today is lay the insulation down, make sure I have enough, because one of the things I've been terrible about is not buying enough material. I've had to make so many runs back to the store. So we'll lay out all the insulation, and then I'll have to go back to the store and get some plastic. And in the meantime, we got a huge tarp. It'll probably take all three of us to lay it out over this thing. And then we'll come back up here tomorrow and finish putting the insulation down, plastic, and then start putting the flooring down. All right, we're going to get to it.
I might have that razor.
I want to owe both of you a lunch because Dustin said he didn't want any part of this insulation. Well, that's one whole roll there for like what, 3 spans? Maybe not even a whole 3rd span.
Got what you need?
Yeah.
Because I think I'm definitely going to need some more insulation, huh?
I've got some, but it ain't R16.
Oh, yeah. There's a bunch back there behind the garage in that lean-to shelter. There's critters living in it. See where a possum's got a hole back in
I
there.
want to use this.
That's gonna be harder than I thought. Right at the vertical up the wall.
All right, these guys are wrapping up the insulation. Did buy some plastic sheeting we decided to put over it. And just because with the insulation being on the floor and, you know, the paper rips a little bit, that plastic sheeting provide a little bit more protection. It's big enough to cover the entire cabin as well. We won't have to make multiple cuts, multiple lay downs or anything like that. Coming along nicely, getting excited. All right, I meant to show you this before we put the plywood up here. But put that plastic sheeting down. Sure, my cousin Shane did. He did a real good job at stapling in those corners, wrapping up here. So that's really going to keep the moisture out from out from the cabin, especially getting into the floor. So I'm excited about that. I would have never thought to do that, but he had experience with this, and that's what we did. So I'd have to put some fascia board out here later, but that's okay. I like the way this is looking. So we're gonna come to a stopping point now. We're gonna throw a cinder block in the center, put a big tarp over all that, just in case it rains. We'll get some frost and shit all the water off there. Where'd Cuz go? Hey, you done run off, yep. You guys did awesome. What do you think about the cabin so far?
It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, y'all made it look pretty good. It's great what you can do with the team. Yeah, especially when you ain't seen folks in forever. So I appreciate you guys. And get like one more little video shot. Might not tell by looking at him, but that guy's a builder. You can tell he's a redneck, so he's pretty much a little bit good at it, just about everything. Ain't right?
Try to be.
And then when you got a beard like Shane here, there's all kinds of hidden talent in there. Yeah. And I'm still upset I can't grow a beard. Even if I didn't have that job, it's gonna grow in like Joe Dirt. But all right, hey, we got one more day, and then we'll wrap up the video after that. And one more day, we're gonna come out here and frame up the floors, and then we're gonna start the what do you call it? Wall raising the walls, get the walls framed in. All right, wrapping up part 2 of the cabin build. Just got the plywood flooring on. I'll show you what that looks like. Dustin, what do you think so far?
I think everything's coming along really well. I mean, next is just putting the walls up and getting the ceiling done, getting it dried in.
I think it'll go a little bit faster from here on out. You think so?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got the rest of the material. At least we think we do. I didn't have to go back and buy any more plywood, so that's good. Let's see if I got the rest of the build right. So there's what it looks like. Pretty much like a dance floor, like what Dustin says. But he tells me he doesn't dance, but I think we need to get some music up here tomorrow and do a dance before we start. The GoPro's dead, so that's why we're not going to dance now, but I think we're going to dance tomorrow before we get started.
There is a time that I do dance, but it would not be appropriate for this YouTube channel.
We'll see if we can change his mind. Well, hey, that's it. Excited to get this out to you and start on part 3 of the cabin build. Hopefully part 3 will take us through the entire dry-in. Hey, wanted to share something with you real quick. Just Ephesians 4:32, I believe it is. Be kind to one another. You know, it's one of the simplest verses, easy to remember, but for some reason it's hard to follow a lot of times. Just be kind to one another. So hey, that's my challenge to you guys. You know, you get a chance, show some kindness to somebody. And I'll see y'all on the next video. If you haven't already, please subscribe. You hit the like button. Comment. Leave us a comment. What type of dance would you like to see Dustin do up on the dance floor? All right, love you guys. Take care. Bye.